So this is the Twitter user known as Ramon Bowman, Puff, aka Puffmain71. We originally crossed paths on YouTube. I originally found him on YouTube back when I used to have a YouTube account, but I closed my YouTube account and then now I'm on Twitter, moved on to Twitter, because I was tired of dealing with trolls and cyberbullies on YouTube and YouTube not doing much about it, doing almost nothing about it when I reported them to the YouTube. When I reported trolls and cyberbullies to the YouTube staff, YouTube did next to nothing about it. So I decided to move on. And I decided to move on. I closed my account on YouTube and moved on to Twitter. This is Ramon Bowman, aka Puffmain71's channel. He's not very bright, to be honest. We had a private conversation back and forth on messages on private messages, and I told Ramon Bowman is 19. He's turning 20 later this year, and he still lives with his parents. And I told him, how are you gonna? I told him you can't rely on your parents forever, because eventually, not now, but eventually, decades from now, your parents will die of old age. What's going to happen? What's to become of your overly dependent ass when your parents die of old age? He says, I told my parents not to die. I said, well, it's inevitable. Everybody dies one day. We all die one day. No living thing lives forever. And it's not just humans that don't live forever. Animals don't live forever. Plants don't live forever. No living thing lives forever. Every living thing dies one day, eventually. So I'm not saying he's going to die, that their parents are going to die now, but they might eventually when they're 90 or 100 years old. When they're 90 or 100 years old. The life expectancy has gone up in recent years. People are living longer these days, but everyone dies eventually. Even Kirk Douglas died at 103. But every living thing dies one day. So he says, I'm not going to die, and my parents aren't going to die either. So Ramon Bowman, a.k.a. Puffmain71, apparently thinks he and his parents are immortal. He thinks they're immortal. This is the level of intellect we're dealing with here. I told him, well, not now, but eventually you're going to die. You're going to die. I'm going to die one day. We're all going to die one day. I'm going to die one day. I said, not now, but eventually you'll die when you're an old man, when you're 90 years old or whatever, or 100 years old. You're going to die eventually. He says, don't threaten me. I'm not threatening him. I'm not threatening to kill him. I'm not sending him death threats. I'm saying he's going to die one day eventually, just like I am and just like everybody is. It's not a threat. It's just a fact. But this is the level of intellect we're dealing with here. Like Ramon Bowman, aka Puffmain71, is not the brightest bulb in the box. Yet he still goes around on social media claiming to be a genius. He claims on YouTube and on Twitter to be a genius. This is like the real-life Dunning-Kruger effect. I mean, he's got to be very low functioning.